What up, y'all? This is episode 10 of It Behooves Me to Say podcast. I am your host, Darren Fleet. Today we're going to talk about the topic of hatred versus Christianity. This topic inspired me after the death of Charlie. Speaking of y'all, I left my, you know what, Darren, I'll pull it up on my notes. I saw a video before I left out of town. We just did Pittsburgh and Detroit, and I want to shout out Pittsburgh and Detroit as well. Pittsburgh, thank y'all for showing us a good time. Detroit, thank you for selling out. It was an amazing time. I enjoyed y'all so much. I really, really did. Also, we had some happy hecklers in Pittsburgh. Just due to drinking, and they were just happy, they were having a good time, but it kind of like disrupted a bit of the show, but the show still went smooth. I had a good time, Woo had a good time, and it was our first time being in Pittsburgh, so yes, I really, really enjoyed that. In Detroit, we already kind of knew what to expect, but it was our first time doing this specific venue. It's called Punchline. No, I'm lying. It's called Comedy Bar. Yeah, Punchline was the venue that we did that time before last when we were in Detroit. But this time, we did Comedy Bar, and it was a beautiful venue. It was ambiance. They had food and drinks and all the shit that y'all was talking shit to me about, Detroit, before I came. And yes, it was one of those venues that I know I would definitely be back at. So once again, I just want to say thank you, Detroit, and thank you, Pittsburgh, for a wonderful time. Y'all really made myself and Woo Woo's day. I also want to send a special shout out to Woo Woo cousin Phyllis and her husband Frank. Yes, Phyllis and Frank came to support us in Pittsburgh. She's originally from Baltimore. He's from Virginia. They live in Pittsburgh, and they came out to support us, and they knew that we were due to go to Detroit the next day. And between us, I never catch Greyhound, but I was just going to take the Greyhound from Pittsburgh to Detroit because first and foremost, it was a lot cheaper than catching a flight. I was like, damn, these flights like $700-800. You won't be getting that up out of me today. So we was going to book a Greyhound ticket. I was like, girl, the bus trip ain't no more than like 5-6 hours. We'd get up and leave about 8 o'clock. We would have been there at least roughly around about 2:30, 3 o'clock, which still gave us some time to kind of unwind before the show. Luckily, her cousins was there, and they were super gracious. Her Woo-Woo's cousin Frank was like, no, Darren, we're going to drive y'all. We got y'all, you know. Now, we want to do this. This is family. You know, their kids are grown and gone, so they just having some mommy and daddy private time. So I'm pretty sure they got the chance to treat it like a vacation and enjoy 2 wonderful nights of comedy. So once again, I want to shout them out. All right, needless to say, before I went to Pittsburgh, I saw this video of a man being gunned down, and I'm not going to lie, thanks to AI, at first I did not know what I was watching because I never seen a man before. That man so happened to be Charlie. And I remember watching the video in real time, and it cringed because I was like, damn, it looks so real. So I went to the comments section. I'm in the airport, and I'm reading comments. And now I can see that this man meant a lot to people. Those people, they were all arguing with me up and down my comment section today about a status that I put up. But I'll get on that later. I want to stay on topic. I was reading the comments, and people were just, you know, rest in peace, Charlie. This shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened. And I want to just stop and ponder on that for a second. I agree. That should not have happened. And I hope that we all can agree. I do not care what you are, who you are as a person, what you do, and how you've done it. I do not agree that anyone should be shot down and bleeding from their neck, and it was just a malicious way to take someone out. I thought that was horrible, and that's a death too that, you know, it just stays on your mind because, like I said, I watched it and I thought it was AI first because I didn't know who this man was. I really, really didn't, and I try my best not to get too much into politics other than, you know, the bare necessities of what I should and should not know. So yes, I agree. That was a hurtful death. That was very malicious, and no one deserves to die like that. Families should not get a call and saying that your loved one passed like that. Your friends do not deserve to mourn a death like that. So my heart does go out to his family, his friends, and his loved ones. On the flip side of that, I went and did my homework on Charlie myself. Because I did not want to do like I did with Hulk Hogan. When Hulk Hogan passed, I wrote a status. I was like, you know what? Rest in peace to one of my heroes, because growing up, I too watched wrestling. My mother watched wrestling, my father, and there was just a a channel that you could put on and the kids would be entertained. I used to follow the storyline, like when Sable and Luna used to fight, or The Rock when he was first introduced, or Undertaker and Kane, etc. So I knew all about Hulk Hogan, and I also knew about his daughter, Brooke. That's how much I enjoyed wrestling. So when I called the man my hero, and fans pulled me up to date, of course, those fans were people of color, and they were not just black. They was like, why would you say that, Darn? Have you seen this? And when I saw those videos, I quickly erased my status. Not because my heart does not go out to Hulk Hogan and his family, but it is hard for me as a person of color to say how much I feel for you, even though I once loved you, but you hurt me because of what you had to say about people that look like me. And then too, you subdue every black person to being the most malicious black person you've had an encounter with. And I don't think like that. I do not put every white person I meet in a box. I don't think every white man is John Wayne Gacy. I don't think every white man is Jeffrey Dahmer, even being a black gay man. And you know how it is to be black and gay. Well, then again, you probably don't know. That's why people can just say whatever they want to say, whenever they want to say. But I don't subdue y'all to being every serial killer that we've seen. And let's just be real, most of them have been white. Okay? This is not a live about race. This is a live about facts. Okay? Factually, for us to see Channel 5 News wanting to do a candlelit visual, and I was listening to a podcast the other day when I was in the airport, and they stopped the podcast. They wanted all of us to bow our head and go into prayer for Charlie and his family. And all I could think about after, all the information that I had seen on Charlie, the shit that he said about Brittany Griner when she was locked up in Russia, the words that that man used to describe Brittany was, a black pot-smoking lesbian should not get treated better than a U.S. Marine. Excuse me, that's the wrong thing you say about someone whose child is across seas in Russia, a country who really don't favor Americans. Brittany is still an American, whether you felt a way about her being lesbian, black, or smoking weed, which had nothing to do with the fact that she was overly policed in Russia. Now, I've never been to Russia. I do not know Russia's rules, but I will agree that was a very harsh punishment for a vape. It was. It was. I don't care if you do not agree. This is not a live where I give a damn whether people agree with what I'm saying or not, because I know what I'm saying is factual. He said that on December the 8th, 2022. And I quote, on January the 3rd, 2024, he piggybacked off how he felt about black people, and what he said was, blacks are out here attacking whites at the speed of light for no reason. And I'm trying to think about which black people they were. Now, I'm agree that there has been black on white crimes. There has been black on black crimes. And according to what just happened to Charlie, there's been white on white crimes as well, haven't it? Right. So no race is better than the other. You don't have to keep saying black, 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 gay, 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 because that makes people feel some way. And we're not feeling any old way because of what we think you're trying to say. We're a strong race and we're very intellectual people and very articulate, so we do make out what you're trying to say, even when you're saying it in between the lines. To bring up one's race and sexuality just to talk about one person that may be in our race or maybe even have the same sexuality is wrong, because that's nothing I would never do to describe Ellen DeGeneres. There's nothing I would ever do to describe, what other white gays do we know? Richard Simmons. I would never say, I even have a joke about Richard Simmons that is so tastefully done that even Richard will love it. You know what I mean? Because it is a way that you say things and get your point across without offending a group of people. And what he said was very fucking offensive. It was very offensive that even if you were white and read it, you would have been like, you can take that part out. You don't have to say it because it was offensive. So I'm not saying that people should not mourn his death, because death is one of those things that it hits everyone. It affects a lot of people. It affects people you went to school with, your parents, people that look like you, people that were conservative like you, and people that believe the way you do. But those people are not always us. His death did not affect our community because the things he had to say that were negative about our community. And we are not celebrating his death, because I've never celebrated anyone's death. I've never celebrated anyone's death. I wouldn't even feel comfortable saying, hey, let's throw a going away Charlie party. We don't do no shit like that. Black people, we are not taught hate in our homes in spite of what people think. We're not a narcissist race. We're not taught hate, because yet if black people were taught hate the way that some other people were taught hate in their homes, who could stand in America? Where would you go? Who would you call? Where would you run? If black people were not as forgiving as we are, where would you go? It's a song by a black R&B group by Escape. It's called Who Can I Run To? Who could you run to? All right, we're very forgiving. We even forget. We will even show up to still in places and events that don't want us there. And we see that all the time, like Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or hell, what was it, Denny's a few years ago, Dove soap commercials, H&M, Target. People don't know how it is to be black in America, but you stay speaking on blacks in America, forgetting that you're the reason why blacks are in America. If you're not black in America, why are you talking about black people in America? Huh? I don't wake up one day and talk about whites of America. Sometimes I'll be so thankful that when I'm in the airport or I'm in public, that no one asked me anything stupid today. When me and Woo Woo were on our way to we're on our way to Pittsburgh, we were like the only people of color on my flight. The stares that we got, and we knew where we were going to, because I know Pittsburgh is predominantly white. Well, Pennsylvania is predominantly white outside of Philly. So we knew what we were getting ourselves to, but we held our heads high, because we also know that not only are we black, we're good looking and black, and we're talented, and we're being brought to your city by request. They request me in these cities, and they put me up in lavish hotels, and they pay for my flight, because not only am I beautiful and talented and black, I'm also important. More important than some of the people that were giving me dirty stares. That I can tell you. That I can tell you. Okay? All right. Let's move right along. Now, like I said, with this candlelit visual and all of the moments of silence, I do agree that that too is needed. But you cannot get mad at us for saying we don't want any parts of it. We're not celebrating his death at all, but we're not mourning it because of the way he felt about us. And it is not anything that no one told us. It wasn't a 10-second clip. These have been dates back from 2022. I did my homework. Because I knew people would get up here and say, well, can you prove he said that? Yes, and so can you. Google it. The information is there. And guess what it's in? Black and white. That's exactly what it's in. I did my homework because I wanted to read up on why people were so upset. And I'm included in people. Because if you ask our community, people that deserve candlelit visuals, let's name some of them. Freddie Gray. He deserved a moment of silence from Fox 50 and a candlelit visual, and his family also deserves 40 acres and a mule. Philando Castile. Y'all remember the man that was gunned down by the police after his girlfriend was screaming with his baby in the backseat? Gunned down, shot over 5 times. He deserves a candlelit visual from Fox 5, and also what he deserves is a moment of silence. Breonna Taylor deserves a candlelit visual and a moment of silence. Trayvon deserves... Emmett Till deserves a candlelit vigil and a moment of silence. And what he also didn't deserve was his racist ass killer and accuser to be protected in Raleigh, North Carolina, in a racist community in which they protected that woman 30 years plus after the death of Emmett. That's who deserves a fucking moment of silence. Someone who never got on TV spewing out hatred about whites or about LGBT or about other things that people could not choose while coming to America or being born in America. So yeah, Frederick Douglass deserves a moment of silence. Okay? Yeah. So what we are saying is what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Rosa Parks deserved a moment of silence. Martin Luther King deserves a moment of silence, and his birthday should also be celebrated on his birthday and not the date that you chose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you want to make it even all around the perimeter, you got to start in your own homes where hatred is taught. Because I know that it's taught, because I've even gotten dirty stares from some of your children. And children are not born racist. They're not born racist. It's taught. We're policed in our own communities in which we were forced to live in. Like in D.C. right now, they got the feds out there. The feds are not in D.C. because the crime rate is so high. The crime rate has been lower than over the last 10 years than it has all D.C. life and in Baltimore. You bought those cops there to police our neighborhoods so that when black people go missing, you can just say, well, I saw him doing something. I can take him on in, put him into custody for no reason, and his loved ones never heard from him again. That's why. That's why. This is shit I've been knowing, and I never say anything. But what struck me today was when I put up my status. I put up a status that said, people been asking me about this Charlie character. And the reason why I called him a character, because his characteristics were flawed. He act like a character on his podcast while talking about blacks, gays, Britney, and everything else he know nothing of. Oh, not just blacks and gays, our culture. The man said something about, the cocoa butter that we use and our dreadlocks. They're not dreadlocks until they on your head because they don't connect to their locks. That's what they do, because our hair naturally does things. It's a God-given thing. But it's only dreadful when it's on your scalp. Because your scalp is not made for things like that. It's a little thinner. Yeah. So when people saw me put up that status today when I said, people been asking me about that Charlie character, and all I can say is, how you die does not override who you was when you were alive. That's basically what I said in a nutshell. And I can't remember verbatimly what I said, but I'm pretty sure it was a screenshot. Not that I care. Because I would say it again. I would say it again. I would say it again. And 1,000 times. Also, what I said was, you can't spell red hat without hatred. And that wasn't a lie either, because REDHAT spells hatred all day to me. It's taught. We live in a country where we still have to hold our heads high, knowing that the politicians that run this country or the people that are in higher positions don't give a fuck about us. So you shouldn't be speaking on us if you ain't us. Because see, when Obama was in office, you didn't have to feel inadequate about being white. Because the Obamas never made you feel less than because you were white or because you were conservative or because you were a Republican. Never. I've never heard Barack say shit wrong about a white man in this country. Trust me. And it ain't going to be on Google. But I can Google a lot that Charlie has said, a lot of things that Vance has said, and a lot of things that Trump has said and still say till this day. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I didn't shed a tear, because I was definitely going to do like I do for everyone else. White, black, or indifferent. When someone dies, and myself as a public figure, as a stand-up comedian, as a well-known influencer, I don't care who you are. Shannon Doherty died, a piece of me left. Do you hear me? That's because I have never been taught hatred. That woman was such a staple in my childhood. I used to love to watch Charm. A piece of me died when Shannon Doherty died because I loved her. Do you understand that? No, you don't understand it, because when you see black entertainers on TV, you see them as black entertainers. When Shannon Doherty was on the TV, I just saw a sister witch. I was like, oh, that's my girl. Do you get that? When I used to watch Hulk Hogan or any other wrestler, most of those wrestlers were white. Every once in a while, we would pop up and get a David Otunga, Jennifer Hudson's ex-husband, or we would get The Rock. But I never saw these wrestlers as white wrestlers. I never said, ooh, that's my boy, white Lex Luger. I know that ain't the white Undertaker. Never, never. But we are seen like that. And the reason why I know it, because I can prove it. December the 8th, 2022, a black pot-smoking lesbian. What? That's what you thought about her as an American leader, and she's a fucking American? And in America, in a lot of countries, smoking pot is legal. So now that she's locked up in Russia, this is how you treat your fellow Americans, and you want us to cry or mourn? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? I'm not going to laugh and rejoice, but I don't have a tear to shed. No. Especially when he wouldn't have cared if black blood was shedded in the streets. What was that song by Billie Holiday that they tried to stop her from? Strange Fruit. They still hanging us today. It's just not as fun, and it's being swept under the rug. So let's talk about it on this podcast. It was two boys. They were twins that went to Georgia. Yeah, and their parents didn't see them again. Also, it was a black truck driver who went to the mountains of Hendersonville, North Carolina, who never made it back home. And you know what happened a few months after that in Hendersonville, North Carolina? The wrath of God. So help me, Jesus. You know what happened to Hulk Hogan? He passed. And I still say rest in peace, Hulk. But he passed on the same day that he went public with his racist statement. Now you tell me God won't have the last say so. So when we speaking of Christianity, let's not talk about conservative Christians. Because when you're a Christian, no word goes in before it and no word comes after it. You're just a Christian. You have had a born again experience. When you are Christian, you don't ever have to say, I'm a conservative Christian. Or when Trump was being elected, re-elected, what they called him was a baby Christian. There's no such thing as a baby Christian. And there's no such thing as a conservative Christian. Yes, you can be born a baby. We all born babies, but babies are born into sin. The only baby Christian we ever had was Jesus, a man who knew he was coming to die for your sins. He knew that upon arrival. Trump is not a baby Christian. That man is 80 in the face. No, he's not 80 in the face. He's 100 in the face, 80 in his movements, and so far past the times of where he was a baby that not even babies like Trump. Did y'all see that time when Trump tried to kiss that baby? Downtown D.C. and that baby screamed to the top of his lungs, because even babies can feel the devil resonating off of you. There's nothing Christian about speaking hatred about one's race or sexuality, because God knows who he creates. Do I agree that some things can be sin even as an LGBT man, because I was born in a Christian household? My grandmother is a Christian woman. I do feel like that sometimes the way I live my life and my lifestyle is a sin. That's how I feel about me. But I would never go and tell other gays, you a sinner, when your mother gamble and your father cheats and your daddy cusses and your cousins smoke weed. Everyone fucking sins. So as a sinner, I don't go around telling other sinners that I'm a better sinner than you. Because God don't look at, oh, gays, you're going to go to a deeper pit of hell than conservative whites. Because if you use the word conservative to be racist, do you think you're going to heaven? Do you? Huh? I really want to know. I really want to know. Telling black people to not be stand up about how we feel. How do you think we should feel about George Washington? What's the feeling that you want black people to feel about George? How do you think we should feel about Robert E. Lee's statue? That Robert E. Lee character who was a statue in Virginia. I'm a born Virginian. I've lived in Virginia for a great deal of my life, and I also was living in Virginia when they were protesting to take that Robert E. Lee statue down out of Richmond. And you had people from higher power, people who were lawyers, doctors, news anchors coming out telling on yourselves that statue isn't bothering anyone. It's a part of our history. You're right, a part of white history, but it is not the legacy of Virginia. Let's talk about Virginia. Virginia is a state, one of the original 13 colonies, where indigenous people were here first. And I do know that for a fact. That's why some of the cities in Virginia still have the Indian background names. Let's name some. Norfolk, Chesapeake, Tappahannock, Powhite. I know a lot of people thought it said Powhite. No, I'm pretty sure there are some Powhites and Blacks that live there, but it's Powhite, and that comes from the Powhatan tribe. And I know that tribe also well because my mother's family are also from the Powhatan tribe, and we also have Blackfoot Indian in our family too. We're originally Virginians. Powhite. Yeah, I know you didn't think that was a white last name, did you? And it shouldn't even be called Virginia. The name of that state should be called Occoquan. And the reason why I say that, because she was an Indian woman who fought off people from coming on her land, trying to take what was rightfully hers. Should we talk about history today? Because if I got to get on procreating, we wouldn't even be able to stand today. But when I put up a status saying that no, we're not mourning, but we're not celebrating. I had a woman, Suzanne Merrow, who works in the school system. And don't worry, Suzanne, I made a call to the school system in Wisconsin. Yeah. She works in the school system in Wisconsin. Took time out of her humdrum day after I wrote my status to call me every nigger she could think of. But not only am I a nigger, I'm a smart nigger. Cause see, this nigger gonna have your job, and I'm not letting up. I was so offended by it that I'm also gonna press charges, Suzanne. And I hope that some people follow you with that action. Cause see, that's the way you do it. What was that term that Charlie used about black people? Affirmative action. I took action, Suzanne. Now, when you go home to your husband and to your racist household where racism is practiced, taught, and practiced again, you'll practice racism more than you do violin lessons. I hope that you can break it to him that the only reason why I'm not going to have a job as of next week is because I went on Darren Fleet's page, who wasn't bothering me at all, who said nothing wrong about white people, and I called him every nigger I could think of. Now look at you. You see what that nigger did to you? And I'll do it again. Anybody else want to join Suzanne? All right. Moving right along from Suzanne. I don't even know why we stayed on her so long. Shit, she's not going to even be able to retire. They went off about that Robert E. Lee statue so bad that it took them almost 5 years to take it down. They compromised with taking down the statue, but they're just going to keep the name of the bridge, Robert E. Lee. Child, the racism we've had to deal with for years. 4 years. 4 years. I got a lot more where that come from, but like I said, I'm not upset with white people. I've never been upset with white people. I don't have a racist family member. I don't know no, honestly, I know this is so crazy because I know that other people can't say this. I know 1,000 blacks and 999 of them ain't racist. We don't be thinking like that. I mean, just naturally, I never come out thinking today, am I going to be treated bad because I'm black? But I know that it can happen because it has happened before. It has happened a numerous amount of times. I lived in Baltimore for a long time. Dundalk, Maryland. Racist as I don't know what. Virginia. Virginia voted blue the last 2 elections, but that's them trying to sweep racism under the rug so that you can think Virginia is a pleasant place. But Virginia, the R in Virginia stands for racism. If you don't believe it, ride down to the 757 and go through Essex. If that ain't a sundown town on that highway, I don't know what hit you. The outskirts of Petersburg. Let's name some of these little racist white communities. Roanoke, when I was there, dirty stairs. And people talking to you like old backwood hillbilly, y'all ain't gonna get no more gas. I'm like, what did you just say? Oh, am I gonna get any more gas? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just articulate and black. You know? The outskirts of Richmond, the Petersburg area. Short Pump. I was followed around that Short Pump mall so much to the point I took my phone out and I showed the white lady my bank statement and that bitch backed up. Because I know she ain't never seen a statement like that, especially not in her household, especially not working at Athalethia and Short Pump. Short Pump. That's how they say. Short Pump. I flashed it and I was like, ma'am, I don't need to steal nothing. It ain't nothing in here I can't afford. Trust me. I wasn't following. I just didn't know if you needed help. If you wanted to know if I needed help, you should have came out and asked, do you need help? Because that's what I do. Not peeking above me through. I can afford leggings, mama. What's that? Yeah. My heart goes out to Charlie's family. No one wants to wake up and see a video of their loved one going out. My heart goes out to Philando Castile's family, Sandra Bland's family. My heart goes out to Trayvon Martin's family, whose mother followed me to this day. Yeah. Freddie Gray's family. The family of Twitch. You remember the black guy who was on Ellen, whose white wife went and got married right after he passed? Because he, quote unquote, had a suicide. My heart goes out to his family, his mother and father, and his children. Yeah. May we bow our heads in a moment of silence for them as well. Because they were made jokes of, like Philando and Freddie Gray. And yeah. I would never joke on Charlie's death. Because that is not a joking matter. It's actually a very malicious one. It's a sad one. And let's speak back on Christianity. One thing I know about being Christian, I would hate to die in my sins. So have mercy on his soul, Jesus. It's all I can say. Yeah. Because everyone is Christian until let's talk about Christianity. Christianity is not, I go to church Sunday. And yeah, I make sweet tea and homemade peach cobbler for my kids. And I'm nice to colored people. I'm nice to black people. Yet you can name every black person in your neighborhood. And that's not Christianity. That's not Christianity. That's living according to the way America says, you're living the American dream. Christianity is having a born again experience. Giving up the rights to yourself. Because see, even if you were racist, once you have that born again experience, your heart no longer desires to hate black people. That's Christianity. That's Christianity. A born again experience. You cannot sit in my face and tell me I'm Christian, but I smoke weed every once in a while. And this don't got nothing to do with whether you black, white, or indifferent. I don't entertain the likes of Christians who tell me shit like, yeah, because God put it here, but he didn't put it here for you to get high. Smoking weed and telling people that you are a Christian is telling God that you don't get me high enough in spirit, so I found something else to hold it. You can't possibly tell me you Christian when your mouth still wants to turn a beer up. I know Christians, and they ain't hating. They ain't pretending. They ain't looking for entertainment. You know, my grandmother has been Christian since the day my father was 6 months old. That woman has been Christian all my life, no backsliding, and not just Christian when other people are watching, real Christian. That type of unwavering Christianity that you can't break. You know what I mean? Some of you don't know because you're conservative Christian, aren't you? Yeah, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as Christian comedy. Christian comedy ain't nothing but regular comedy without cussing words. That's why my grandmother ain't never seen one of my shows. She loved me for who I am. She loves my soul. I am my father's son, but she don't play with the likes of the devil's work because real Christians know that you ain't out here laughing while the rest of the world is in damnation. Are you? Just having a good old time to some of darn jokes and a non-alcoholic drink just to make you feel like you still a Christian living on the wild side. Because if you were really Christian, you know you don't need a wild side. Now, do you? Do you? All right. Don't tell me you conservative Christian, because I'm here to let you know it does not exist. It only exists in your imagination. There's no such thing. Christianity is not a religion. So when you mix politics with Christianity, know that you've already doing God a disservice. God don't need another politician. God don't need you to run a country because he got this, man. I'm just saying. Christianity is not a religion in the first place. It's a lifestyle. It's not a religion. A religion is more like cult-like based things or things where you do to stay in something. God don't get rid of you because you not his type today. That's why he's here to save you. He knew you was going to be a dumb, dusty sinner, so he needs you to need him. He would never wash his hands on you because you're gay. He knew you were going to be shaped in iniquity. This has all been written. So for people to say I'm a conservative Christian, that shit blows me. It blows me. Because you don't know the Lord. You never have. And from the looks of things, you never will. I done dropped my damn $2,000 gold bangle. I'm pissed. And if it's broken off, I'm going to have to take it to one of my fair Indian women who work in the middle of the mall to fix it. You know, all those people, the people trying to send back to their country. And then once everyone go back to their country, are you going to be able to make it? Huh? Are you? You know, when I go to Mexican restaurants, I don't even see Mexicans really in the restaurants. I see mostly white people. Especially when I went to the one in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is not a dig. They were up there asking for extra mild sauce. That's how they talk in Raleigh. The white people, can I have a mild, not mild, mild? It wasn't even Hispanics. And what you going to do when they send everybody back to where they come from? Who going to raise this country again? Because as far as I'm concerned, if you go and look at history, who raised your children the first time? These dumb niggas that people like to talk about, or what did Charlie call us, moronic black women who were working in customer service, who only got their jobs because of affirmative action. Yeah, who's going to go back and teach people civilization if we not here? Huh? Sharecropping, building, integrity. Huh? Who? I'm not used to birds chirping at my show. I'm so sick of this racist ass world and then people getting upset because we don't want to subdue to your racist bullshit. We ain't. We are not the black people that raised us, and I think that that's where people fall off. We are not our ancestors. Boo. We can read too. I know some who can even read better than you or just as good as you. Child. And as long as we can dig up your past, we're going to choose how we're going to mourn. Because the moment Whitney Houston died, y'all have put up 10 movies from her. All the people who were supposed to have her back, good old white America, 10 movies about how she was so drugged out, her family was drugged out, and how she was a lesbian. Shit that we did not need to know. Right. Aretha died 2 weeks later. Here come Genius doing a damn show on Hulu about how that woman had a baby at the age of 12 and 14. Shit we did not need to know. We didn't need to know that. We wanted to remember her as Respect, something that we wish we could get from the rest of America community. So, we're here now. We're here now. So, of course, when other people pass, we're going to look up and see what we're mourning for. Hold on, let me see what I'm mourning for. Not moronic black women. Not, and he said it in such a jokingly way. Ain't nothing worse, and I tell jokes. That's how I know that a lot of people don't know jokes. It's a difference between what's funny and what's a joke. A joke has a punchline and a smooth transition. A joke can also break a person down but lift them up. What he said was downright disrespectful to a group of people that look like me, and you want us to cry? That man said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to say, boy, was your first fuck up. Boy, I'm going to need to see some credentials. Are you fucking kidding me? I've never asked a white pilot for credentials, a female pilot for credentials, none of that. I just pray that he has a right mental capacity and he's in his right mind frame, that he lands this plane with all of us on it safe and sound. I do not care that my pilot is white. I do not care that my flight attendant is black, that she's a little person, that he's gay. I do not give a fuck. These are the things other people give a fuck about and then try to make it our problem. No, it's your problem. I have no problem with being black and gay. As a matter of fact, if I could die and come back again, I would still choose to be black because I don't know anything else to be. Being black is not an insult. It's not a flaw. Being black is protection, a color that we wear and we love it and we proud of it, every inch of it. The way I dance, the way I can harmonize, get on tune, the sway of my back, the way I match colors, the way the sun adorns my melanin skin. I would have never chosen to be anything else. The way my mother has the Eve gene, the way all me and my siblings are black, but we are different shades of it, and my mother and father are both evenly complexioned. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. That procreation shit I was saying earlier. That's the reason why people are upset. You're not upset because you hate anyone. You don't hate black people. You don't have a reason to. You don't have a reason to. They're thugs. They're gangsters. I know thugs and gangsters of all races. I never see a white person do something and be like, that's how they all are. No, I don't. I would never blame you for something that Jeffrey Dahmer did. Never. Never. But one person see O.J. Simpson, and now y'all looking out the blinds of your windows when we in your community. I wonder if they're good. Then they smile at me every time I walk my dog through my community just to see if I'm a smile back. But a smile is not speaking to me, so I do not show all 32 teeth. I walk my dog and I mind my fucking business. Because see, if you want to be spoken to, speak. That shit ain't no speaking, so I don't do it back. Look right past your ass. Yeah. You cannot subdue people to every gangster or every racist you came across. I've met some of the most beautiful white people in my world, and I've also met some of the most nastiest. Black too. I've had my own race treat me very nasty. And I never go out thinking, oh, okay, they all gonna do that. I still go out and I perform. In cities that are not predominantly black, and places that act like I'm the first gay person they seen. Shit, I went down to Alabama. We went to a damn gas station out there. I had to cut my gay off. I was like, girl, they probably gonna lynch me. Yeah, I should never go nowhere and feel like that, but I did feel like that. In Huntsville. I did. Nothing says get me out of here more than an F-150 truck with a Trump sticker on the back. I'm like, oh, I do not want to be here. I do not want to be here. When you go back and you call yourself a Christian next time, Don't put a word in front of it or after it, because there's nothing that comes before God or after him. So if you're really Christian, just be that. Don't be a part-time Christian, because see, backsliding, you're charged worse than a gay man is when he goes to hell or heaven or whatever it is that you want to put him at. Christian is just Christian. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Next time you say, I'm conservative and Trump is a baby Christian, it's no such thing. That term is nowhere in the Bible. It's no such fucking thing. Only in your mind. And then you get upset because you can't brainwash this generation of blacks like the ones that were 400 years ago. The Bible says if you don't respect your master, you get 14 lashes. That ain't what the fuck it say in Deuteronomy. So you're going to do the right thing and you're going to respect me. And I'm going to show you respect. Because I never come out looking for white people to disrespect. I would never see black people in my neighborhood just all jumping on one white person and not say something about it. Or like, oh, no, what are y'all doing? Because I don't think about trying to hurt someone today. It is not how I uplift myself. But the comments that I got from that video, from that post that I put up, it just stamped everything that I was saying. You think that way because your leaders think that way. And it's a nasty way to think. I'm not saying that Trump hasn't said some pleasant things about black people. Yeah, he has every once in a while. But Trump reminds me of drug dealers that used to live in my community. I never forget on Christmas, they'll come by and they'll give out toys to all the kids, maybe pass out some turkeys to the homeless, do a give back for back to school. But also on any other day, they will sell crack to those kids' mothers. So can you come off and say, I'm a good man, I did a lot for my community because you gave to the kids, but you poisoned their parents? No. So I don't fall for that, but Trump said something nice about black people shit. Well, of course. After you said 300,000 bad things, you can at least find one thing to say. At least our skin don't crack. You can at least tell the truth about that. When you were talking so much shit about Whoopi and how nasty she looked, and how her dreads needed to be chopped. Whoopi and Trump can't be too far apart, but they don't look like they graduated together. Whoopi's skin is still fucking gorgeous. All 32 white teeth, and her hair ain't forsaken her neither, and she's not wearing an orange tanning spray. She's proud of the skin she's at. Oh, and don't worry, he had things to say about white women too. Ask Rosie O'Donnell. He hated that woman for being a lesbian. That woman ain't done shit to him. And I quote, Trump says, yeah, I don't even think her girlfriend will like her. I'm thinking about getting one of my friends to go over there, fuck, and this was right at that time before he was to fuck one of her girlfriends, yeah, and then maybe she can get something real in there, something that really gets up and go. And I'm like, this is what you said about Rosie? And she ain't said shit about you. And it wasn't because Rosie wasn't just a lesbian woman. It probably was because she's a woman. Y'all remember Roe versus Wade? A man who don't mind grabbing you by the pussy don't respect your pussy. You understand? Oh, I forgot. Because he's conservative. Conservative Christians can grab you by the pussy. That's right. I forgot. Because real Christians know that God ain't said no shit like that. I know I will probably get nigger all in my inbox today. So let me beat you to the punch. Niggerific, niggerable, niggeroma. All right, now that we've got all the niggers out the way, tell me how you really feel. Bitch, you know I told the truth. Clock it. You know it wasn't one lie told on this podcast. That's why you're going to go back and you're going to rewind it and going to be like, you know what? That nigger knew what he was talking about. Maybe we're not Christian. Maybe we should drop the conservative part because that doesn't make you Christian. It damn sure does not, Kathy. And for the people who told me that they were going to unfollow me, sweetie, I just got back on my page. It still say 2.3 million, so I get like 10 to 12,000 follows a week. You don't have to announce that you're leaving. You can go. Yeah, you can just go because Yeah. Speaking of following, I hope all my Philly following are in town this weekend because I'm going to be live at Helium with my funny ass sexy friend Tacarra. This is actually her show. So when you go to look for the ticket link for the 19th through the 21st, you're going to see her picture there, not mine. I am her opening act and I am so glad to open for her. This is like a dream come true because she's been killing shit all up and down the West Coast. She is the host of Laugh Factory. She is the Laugh Factory house host, and she is the girl who's doing the most on and off stage. I'm so glad to be a label mate with her, and I'm also so glad that she even said, you know what, Darn, I'm glad to be working with you because in this game, you never know what you're going to step out to until you step in there. I'm so thankful. Also, Chicago, I was double booked for that weekend, and I apologize. So we're switching your 20th date to a date that's later on in this winter, hopefully around my birthday time because I would love to spend my birthday in Chicago. Who the fuck want to spend January in Chicago? But darn, I'm going. That's my birthday, so hopefully I can do that with you guys. Also, if I'm not mistaken, they're sending my homeboy Billy Sorrells. I love Billy. I want to shout out Billy and Tacarra right now. Yes. Love them so much. Two gracious black comics out there killing shit, and I'm so proud of both of them. So I think they're sending Billy, he's also a label mate of mine, to Comedy Bar this weekend in my place. Don't quote me on that yet, but as of last night, that was what I heard. Today it may be something different, but I'm proud of them both. I want to send a shout out to Sahar from Comedy Bar. She made my life so fucking pleasing and easy while I was in Pittsburgh and also while I was in Detroit. So shout out to Sahar at Comedy Bar. Also, I want to shout out to the owners of that comedy club in Pittsburgh. They were so sweet. And let me tell y'all, they were white. I wouldn't even know. Naturally, y'all, I would have just said the owners. But because it's that type of podcast, these were white people. The whole family ran the establishment. The son was sweet. The uncle, the bartender. I mean, y'all, we got numbers from them. We were laughing. They showed us around town. One of the little white sugar daddies wanted to ride me in his little red Corvette. I was like, I don't know if I'm going with you by myself. In Pittsburgh in no mountains, white daddy. But you can take a picture of me on it. So I'm going to upload that picture of me, y'all, while I'm posing like a 60s pinup Betty Boop bitch on his red Corvette. Yeah. Because white men are very attractive to me, believe it or not, especially when I put that blonde shit in my hair. Baby, I can't even go to Wegmans. They'll suck the toenails off my ass before I get past produce. And that is the truth. So that's why I say I could never be racist because I'm attracted to them back. Especially some of the Italians. So I couldn't be racist if I wanted to. But I'm not going to keep on sitting in a world where we are forced to feel the way you feel about how you feel about what you feel about. No, we don't feel that way because he didn't feel that way about us. It sounds like hatred to me. You call it truth, we call it hatred. Because it ain't no shit that we would have said about you, and it ain't no shit our black politicians have said about you. And if so, let us see it. Let me see what Obama called you, a white lesbian that smokes pot, and you should suffer your consequences in Russia. Show me. Show me. You can't. You can't. All right? I love y'all guys for free. God bless you all. Thank you for watching this podcast. This has been episode 10 of It Behooves Me to Say. Hopefully next time I come back, we can talk about some lighter instead of blacker and whiter topics. I hate to talk about race, but when you're talking about politics, race is always the first topic that comes up, and then it's money, and then it's defunding people, and then it's jobs, and then it's our food, and then it's education. That's sad that when you talk about politics, education is like the fifth topic behind race, and racism. That's sad, my nigga. And when I say my nigga, I'm talking to white, black, and indifferent. That's sad, my niggas. Niggas, when we gonna get it together? Huh? God bless you all. And when I say this, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. God bless America because he's the only one that can. And God bless the real Christians that are still going out there doing that missionary work, that know that we don't have no more room for racism, biasness. We're not out here trying to make people feel bad for the way that you are living your life, but there is a God that can help you out of whatever you're going through. They're doing the work, and they're not just sitting at home typing, because I'm a conservative. God bless America. And I would love to close there. Thank y'all.